Hi, my name is Jessica and I'm the teacher.
Hi, my name is Ruth and I'm the athlete.
Slide of NWABA logo. Teaching methods, teaching progressions. Picture of artist's figurine, tactile diagram.
Today we are going to talk about teaching progressions, and as an example, we are going to use the skill of downward dog. So when using progressions, you want to go from the least restrictive prompt to the most restrictive prompt. And that really depends on the athlete that you're working with. So Ruth, we are going to practice the skill of downward dog. So one way to start off with a teaching progression is using a tactile diagram. So in this diagram, Ruth, you can see how her hands are located in front of her head. Her arms are extended so that her head is in between her shoulder blades and her elbows. Her body is bent and her back is straight. And then her legs are straight as well. And they have a little bit of space in between, not so much shoulder width apart, but in between there. And then another tool that you can use to teach progressions is a artist's figurine. So in this pose of downward dog, as I was describing to you before, Ruth, you could basically see how the body of the figurine is bent. The legs are located underneath the feet, and see how it's bent like that?
Yeah.
Okay. And in this one, the shoulders are located in between the head. So you have your shoulders, your elbows are in between the head, and you have straight arms and hands are flat.
Provide the athlete with a visual description of the skill.
So I'm going to model the skill and have Ruth watch me do it. Okay, so
Ruth, this is what downward dog looks like. Okay?
So I'm gonna have you try it now. Excellent, Ruth. So in the event that Ruth wasn't able to model my skill on the first try, I would then give verbal prompts about how I am performing the skill. So basically, Ruth, what you would do is you would get down on the floor in a tabletop position, have your hands in front of your shoulders, and then you would slowly roll back onto your tippy toes while your head falls between your shoulder blades and your hips move back. Okay? So you try. So excellent. Your hands are past your shoulders. You're rolling back onto your toes. Your hips are up and your head is between your shoulders. Excellent.
If necessary, provide further instruction of the skill using tactile modeling.
In the event that verbal prompts did not work, I would have Ruth tactile model on my body. So you as the teacher need to be comfortable yourself with the act of having a student follow along on your arms or your legs, as well as the student has to be comfortable with touching your body. So before you do any kind of tactile modeling, you need to ask the athlete if they are comfortable with that. So Ruth, are you comfortable with me performing tactile modeling?
Yes.
Okay, so at this point, I would get down onto the mat and I would give a verbal description while Ruth felt my body and the position of my hands, my arms, my legs, my hips. So Ruth, you can follow along on my body. So right now Ruth is touching my hands, she's going up my arms, she's feeling how my back is currently flat, and she's feeling how my legs are tucked underneath my hips, And as I slide up, she'll feel me roll onto my toes. She'll feel the flat of my back. And she'll feel how my head is in between my shoulders. Okay. All right, Ruth, so now you're gonna try. Excellent. So similar to how I had, your hands are underneath your shoulders, your hips are back, perfect, and your toes are curled.
If necessary, apply physical guidance to assist the athlete in achieving the skill.
So this next prompt is physical guidance, and this is where you as the teacher actually manipulate the athlete's body while giving verbal cues and prompts. So Ruth, I'm gonna have you come down onto the yoga mat. Excellent. So now what I would do is as I'm talking to her through the skill, I would move and reposition her body. So you always want to make sure before you do anything with an athlete that the athlete is okay with you touching their body. So Ruth, are you okay if we use physical guidance?
Yes.
Okay. So Ruth, you can put your hands out. Yep, hand over my hand. Perfect. So they're a little bit past your shoulders. Your knees are bent in a tabletop position. Your toes are curled. So you're going to push your hips back and up. Excellent, excellent. You have a flat back. That's excellent. Your head is looking down and it's located in between your shoulders and it makes a straight line. So that's excellent. You can come down now.
Increase the difficulty and duration of the task as the athlete progresses.
So that was an example of downward dog and using teaching progressions to instruct an athlete through that skill. Teaching progressions can be used for any skill or activity that you're teaching to an athlete.
For more, visit the Sports Adaptations page at www.nwaba.org. Thank you for watching. Slide of NWABA logo.